Every song's a favorite song and likes don't feedback. All the reviewers say you need to go and see that. And everybody claps because everybody is pleased. And then they all take the stages up for me. Like,
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Virtual Film Festival once again. Starseed Film and Music Social Chats. What's going on, Tonya? What's going on, She Crypto?
I'm good.
We got a good show today.
Hi, everybody. I was trying to send out this tweet, so that's what was going on. How's everybody doing? Happy to be here. Glad everybody tapped in. Hi, Tonya. I'm really curious to hear about Sundog Creative. So yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Their art is amazing. Before we get started, they created a little something for this space. I'm gonna go ahead and before we get into their introduction, let them go ahead and tell you guys what they created, and you could go collect that if you want to. So, Sundog, go ahead and tell us about the those items you created for the people that attended.
I think we need to give
this
them the
space.
microphone. And we have someone requesting. Francisca, there we go.
Yeah, I just did again. You there, Sundog?
GM, everybody. What a wonderful
GM,
day.
brother, what's happening?
Oh, man, I'm so excited and honored to be invited by you guys up here. Before I carry on, I wonder if you can bring up Derek. He's a listener down below. He's the AI artist on the project. And then we've got one of the main actors also in the crowd there, Lyle. We can bring him up a bit later if we like. Yeah,
absolutely.
Fantastic.
So you said you created some type of collector poster for today. You want to explain?
I thought I'd do a little bit of an edition. I tried to do it through Third Web. It was taking expensive for me. I don't have the money for the ETH, so I went through OpenSea and just did some Polygon. And it's for guests in the audience if they retweet the space and stuff, and you can use a retweet picker, and we can give away 3 of the posters. I also did a in development supporter token from the first ever render we did of the first scene that we worked on together, myself and Derek. This is actually just the first run through, so it's fully AI'd over. It hasn't been reworked by myself, but it's a collector piece. And so that was the idea.
Wow,
gotta have something.
That's so dope. That's so dope, bro. Wow. I definitely need to pick one of those up.
Can we pin it to the nest? Can we pin the post?
Yeah, let's pin that. Is it did you post? Do you got a link we could post to the nest up top?
I will pull it up now. I actually scheduled it to only post a little bit later. Let me have a look see, and I'll just start pinning up the stuff from my threads so that people can actually read more than just wait for me to tell the whole story kind of thing, Give me a second.
All right, cool. So, Sundog, you the man of the hour. Everybody's talking about you, my man. You doing something hella innovative when it comes to film. Before we get into that, tell us about your past. Tell us what lit the fire inside of you as far as film. What inspired you to get into this line of work?
That's a lifelong tale. I was lucky enough to have a grandfather that loved photography. So I got my first camera before I was 5 years old. And obviously it stuck with me. He had a dark room and things like that. And then when I finished high school, I left South Africa. The place was a shithole at the time. So I went to Europe and kind of in exile, and then focused on my art. Came back to South Africa when they released Mandela, terrified that I'd go to jail, but no, that time had gone. And then I was walking in a shopping center one day, and I saw a guy sitting on the end of a crane with a film camera. And I just walked up. I had dreadlocks and all, and I walked up to this guy and said to him, "How do I get that job?" He just laughed me off, kind of. So I then spent the next year just like looking at ideas of what to do, what to study, and trying to find a film school. I then got sent to an office in town. They said it was a film school. I walked in there. It was a production company. The owner took a liking to me because she wanted to name her kid the same as my name. And she then sponsored my entry into the film industry. She wanted me to become a producer.
Did he get rugged a little
Started
bit?
off
Can
with
y'all
film
still?
in the days. Did you lose me there?
A little bit, but we got you back. What you saying?
It's a bit of a soliloquy, so I think I'm going to hang it up there. Yeah, I just love the medium, and to be honest, I ran out of steam for filmmaking the year before lockdown, and I decided to take a sabbatical and start organic farming. Thankfully, I did do that because obviously 7 months later we had a world lockdown, and I had an organic farm, so I could support myself over lockdown, which I've been doing for the last 3 years. And by doing that, we got reached out by a couple of foundations to help support people in need. Obviously, through the lockdown, food is scarce and stuff. And so now that's what we do predominantly. We supply 350 kids a day, veg, every week for the last 2 years. And then I got a bit tired of just farming and got attracted back to film, and boosted my collective, fell in love with the NFT space. And then I was talking to Derek one day, who's an OG in the space. He's been here since, he's been an AI artist since way before internet, I think. And we were chatting, and he said, "Well, let's collaborate on something." So I said, "Well, I'm not so sure what. Have a look at my work." And here we are, 2 weeks later. It's only literally 10 or 12 days since we started this collaboration. The short film I made 8 years ago. I had a horrible time losing data, people deleting footage, whatever, all the rest of it, fish cakes. And I was never going to release it. I wasn't happy with it. My vision of it was more actually where it is now. I'd wanted to do a lot of extra VFX. I've been teaching myself After Effects and all stuff over the years, and I thought I'd be good enough, but I've never really reached that point. But I'm at that point now where I can work with the tracking and cleaning up and fixing it and rematching the AI, and that's where we are now. So we're right at the beginning of something, and the fact that we up here. Good.
So, wow, how inspirational is that? I swear,
Did I
it's
get
like
rugged?
everybody we interview, their story is just like a movie, how it plays out, how they made their way into film, and yours
Hello.
definitely
Anybody in
doesn't.
the
Yours
house?
definitely doesn't disappoint. Can you hear me? Can you hear us? Can you guys hear him? Sundog.
He was going in and out.
Sorry, I think I've been rugged, or I'm not really hearing much.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I got that.
All right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but like I said, your story is so inspirational. It seems like all the filmmakers we interview, their story, it unfolds just like a movie. It's so poetic, and yours definitely doesn't disappoint. And you guys, you've only been collabing for that short amount of time. That's amazing. It, when you look at your work, this looks like you guys have been working on it your whole life.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. I mean, it's the original piece is very steampunk and chainmail and lots of accessories and things, and I like high couture in my film and things like that, you know. And then Derek is a master.
He got rugged again. Give it a little time for him to come back in. I don't know what's going on today with space.
Yeah, it seems to be a little bit wonky. I actually had to leave and come back because I wasn't hearing anything. But I'm trying to get an overall consensus if any other speaker could tap in and let me know exactly what the project is about, because honestly I couldn't even hear anything for a minute.
I think loud.
I think I was again. Yeah, basically.
Can you guys hear now?
The
Okay.
film was made 8 years ago, and yeah, I think I was. Yeah, basically.
Can you guys hear now?
The film was made 8 years ago, and
Okay, I think we got it.
we got it. We got it. We can do it. We can do it. Let's do this. Yeah. So basically, 8 odd years ago, I got tired of just being a digital image technician and a focus puller and a DOP on video, you know. And I thought, let me create some films that boost me up into the DOP status. And South Africa is very much a service industry. All the DOPs come from overseas. You know, it's the wrong place for me to be a DOP. We don't even have IP rights here. So I made the short film, and then one of my younger assistants deleted all the footage. And so I've had a couple of years of hassles with it and the sound. And so I finally got to a point where I was like, okay, just let it go as it is. And thankfully, I got to chat with Derek before I did that. And we are where we're at. So, yeah. And it's because of Derek's talent that the AI is moving so fast. And if I can raise funds and get his attention for the whole of the day instead of his free time at night, we will do this a lot quicker.
Wow. What's going on, Derek? Let's get him up here and
Hi, I'm working as well. We're all the way in Africa, where far our internet is terrible.
We're gonna make it work though. You're an amazing artist, my man. If you could explain to us how you got into the film and art scene as well, I would love to hear your story.
Yo, let me start. I've been doing art my whole life. I left school when I was like 15, and I'm like 45 or something like that now. I just left school and went to go do work on like with potters and learn pottery, and then I went to started a band and toured around playing music, and I've kind of been like a hippie my whole life. And then kind of eventually settled down and got married and got a house and kind of. So I've been doing AR art a couple of years now. It was not that long. It's about 6 or 7 years that the ARs have been around. Starting with Deep Dream and all those things, and style transfers, converting photos, changing the style of a photo to a painting, and then Style Gan came out. So I started doing Style Gan. I basically use every AR that you get. I have to learn them. And now this new one I'm using is Disco Diffusion. It's kind of hard to explain. you can feed it a raw noise image, and then it'll create. You feed in a text prompt, like you ask it what you kind of want, and it creates this amazing art. It's really difficult to use. That it sounds easy, but it's not. And the new one is for video, so you can feed in a video input and it's tell it kind of so you can give it an artificial intelligence overlay and kind of put things like steampunk vibes and flowing water, or I've made a person made out of fire last night. I don't really know what to say. It's mind blowing. I've just been doing it forever. NFTs came along the way, and that was cool. I sold a few NFTs along the way, but I don't really even do it for that. I just do it because I love it. It's really incredible.
It definitely is. I've seen the AI pictures, but as far as film, I have yet to see anybody mesh film with AI, and I mean it's mind blowing. I can just imagine a whole entire motion picture with the AI overlay. You guys definitely have something here. So yeah, the sky's the limit for you guys as far as potential.
Yeah, well, that's what this is all about.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been doing AI for a long time, and everybody does it. Basically, the first thing you do with a video, especially, you take a video of your girlfriend dancing, and you make that. Everyone's made one of those, or something interesting. But it's always about showing off the tech and how cool you are and how amazing you can make things look. And I realized the thing missing here is a story. And then you need making a movie. Yeah, actually, you should be not just making what I call demos of technology demos to show how amazing your technology is. And then I see Warwick Sundog. He's actually a movie maker. I've known him since I was like also young. We were hippies way back. And then, so he's making movies, like a proper movie, and I'm like, hey, we need to collaborate, because this little short AI clips that everybody's making it's not all there. And so, we're collaborating and we have a movie and we have AI and it's merging, which is kind of difficult because not every movie maker wants to make the movie AI as well. Like there's a model in the movie who doesn't want to be apparently made into a robot. So it's tricky stuff, but we're getting it. It's a rare mix of a movie maker and AI maker working together. I'm going to mute my mic.
That's crazy when you think about it, how you guys are actually collabing with. Basically, you guys are also collaborating with artificial intelligence to make a movie. That is so next level to me. Wow.
Yeah, it's actually absolutely incredible. And I mean, this is the first one that I'm doing, and I'm calling this one infused AI film, right?
Are you guys having trouble hearing them again?
Yeah, it just got cut off for a second. It's the internet. I'll come right back. It sounds great on YouTube, so on Facebook and all the other live streams.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
It's Lyle, Warwick's brother. I'm the actor in the movie. Warwick tends to live out in the sticks a bit. He's got a beautiful farm in the middle of nowhere, so his internet there is pretty shite, to say the least. So it breaks up and comes back. He'll be back, that's for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, good thing we got
drop verses of the film, little segments of it, and the idea for the future is my next one. Hopefully, we do very well with this. The next one is I would like to build our own brain. Scan our own footage. Not that when we type in steampunk, we get the same steampunk that you would get or anybody else would get. I want to create a brain specifically for the film, and that's how I see this charging into the mainstream of filmmaking in the sense of Hollywood and stuff, because Hollywood, like you say, the directors are going to want, a lot of restrictions, and it's imperfection is not good for them. And I love imperfection. I'm an artist, and I'm really enjoying this. So yeah, I think the future is wide open for us in the genre.
Wait, before you carry on, there's a bat mouth fucking big mouth in here. That's exactly what we can do. We can train our own. This is this is the AI that was trained on all of the art on the entire internet. It's a massive one that knows everything, but you can train specific ones yourself. that are easier to train, because maybe we want fire or we want things to look like forest. We train one just on forest. It is possible. I've done all that kind of stuff. It just takes a long time.
That's amazing how you can create your own brain with specific things you want or characteristics that you want to appear on top of that film you're using. That's crazy. My mind is blown. Like I really think you guys are gonna take it to the next level. Like, wow. I was looking I clicked on Sundog's page and I looked at a couple of his pieces and I was like, we definitely got to have this guy on here. What you guys are doing is next level, man. Um, so we commend you guys for that. As
Yeah, it is a
far
brain.
as
Sorry, it's a brain. It's a copy of a human brain. That's what a neural network is. It's neurons and synapses. So the brain is the word we can use anyway.
wow.
I wonder if I can just check in quickly, Lyle. I think you've got your speaker open. If it's blue, please hit it so that it goes red. That creates a thank you. But that's my younger brother. He's the baddie actor in the film. He saved me a lot on the day. What a brilliant young actor. Fantastic. Yeah. All right. So I'm getting those tweets up. Having an issue. I've had to copy them over from my own personal profile. I'm on my collective profile at the moment, so I'll sort that out.
So I shared your tweet up on the Nest that you tweeted on May 24th about taking film to the AI level. That's incredible. You guys get a chance, take a look at that tweet and retweet, please, so that it would go with the story. Because when I write the blog about this space, we'll embed these tweets into it too. So whatever you share, I'll have it on the blog.
So this is your first film you're working on. Are you currently working on or have any ideas for your second film?
You mean me as an AI infused and assisted director? I've got another film in mind. I do have a couple of, but it's a fantasy love story based on my ancestors and their arc of life, through into this time and in this place, and a social kind of commentary on the oppression. And even this film is a bit of a social commentary on oppression and religion and just crazy stuff. So yeah, absolutely. Exactly what the next one is, I don't know. I think I just want to get through this one as better as I can, because I'm going to change this film. I'm not going to release this film like I'd originally written it, because now I can rewrite, and what we do is, like, one scene can run through the AI and I can use that same scene twice, because I've now got a completely different look and setup. So it's given me the scope to recreate voiceover and expand the story.
This is amazing conversation. I see we have Beam down there, and I don't know if you guys are cognizant of what Beam is, but it's a tool that filmmakers have been using to show their work and communicate with community and build community. And I'm a firm believer in the space that it'll be a game changer for not just like film in general, but for artists, and for artists to be able to grow community and be able to sustain themselves, as artists. So I encourage people to interact with Beam and any other tech that's going to advance that. So it seems like what you guys have going on is very innovative and different and niche. And considering that something that I'm kind of familiar with as far as being a filmmaker and being more of a niche and not really trying to appeal, but to actually make a story that will, I guess, outlast my years. I feel that Beam is definitely something where you can kind of build community. So I'm gonna go on mute, but just know that when you're basically being interviewed with by Geno, Starseed, and Tonya, that usually they are on the fringe of who's gonna be doing cutting edge things. They basically want to know your story and they appreciate your story, and when you're getting interviewed by them, they it seems like to me they always tap into the underdogs, and to me the underdogs are the ones that change the narrative. So kudos to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. I mean, I realize what a great honor it is, because when we first met, Starseed, and it's strange because on my personal profile I also call myself a Starseed, which is great. But one of the first spaces I was in here was when you guys were chatting to the restorer of the Godfather films. So, I mean, this is no Mickey Mouse platform. So thank you so much, and it's a great honor to be here. I wonder if we could give my younger brother Lyle a moment and let him chat about how he felt making the film, and you can grill his brain.
Absolutely. Thanks to both of you guys. Yeah, man. I appreciate you, She Crypto. And I did not know you was in our space when we were interviewing the film archivist for Francis Ford Coppola. I did not know you were in the room. That's dope, man. But appreciate that. His name's Lyle.
That's me.
Oh, you already ready? What's going on, Lyle?
Not a hell of a lot, hey. Just got home from work.
So you're the actor.
I am indeed, yeah. A couple of years later, a little bit older, a little bit fatter, but otherwise good.
That's awesome. Awesome work, man. Let us hear about your story. How did you get into this? How did you get inspired by film? And
I'd have to blame my mother. She put me in front of camera. She was, well, it was more of a stills artist, cartoon type of book she was doing. Sister Louise. I was the baby. And then it just grew from there. My brother went into the direction of production. I went in the direction of acting. I've always loved that. Been on stage and studied quite a bit. Upset my father a lot by not studying law. Went off to study drama. We had a bit of a fallout about that, but all good in the long run. It's just been a passion of mine. Always loved acting. Mostly was stage. Grew into film and TV series as I got older. Did some production stuff behind the scenes as well. Ended up as a first AD for, what was it, 5 films? Yeah, my wife's nodding her head. So about 5 feature films, a bunch of TV commercials as a first AD, and just decided that wasn't for me. Broke away from that, gave up on the film industry about 5 years ago. Opened a motorcycle shop. I'm very passionate about custom bikes, build custom bikes and stuff like that. So, and then got dragged back in recently by another agency. So Warwick's job was pretty much the last one I really got involved in wholeheartedly, and I've just been floating around with disaster ever since.
wow, just like I say, that whole storybook story. We all have it. I think it's so amazing, man.
Yeah.
And you guys' chemistry is definitely on point. As an actor, what do you think about the Web3 metaverse space and VR?
Sure. I get I'm like an addict. When I find something I like, I go all in, and everything else falls apart. And it's dragged me in. As I got so caught up in it for a few months, my wife started shitting all over me. To come back to the real world once in a while. I love it. I think it's the way the world is going. I think it's going to be predominantly metaverse involved in the future. I don't know how soon, but I'm not as techie as my brother. He's way more into it than I am. I fiddle around with a bit of NFTs here and there, but I'm not the artist type. I can't paint and draw and sketch and make movies, and I've got visions. I've written a couple of scripts and things, but nothing's ever kind of come of them. But I prefer just to delve into somebody else's brain and try and give it another perspective on life. And I think the story of Gunslinger is just absolutely amazing. I've always wanted to play the villain. Mickey Rourke is one of my heroes when he plays the villain. So yeah, I think the uglier the better. If you're a villain, the dirtier the better. And I think this whole NFT AI collaboration is absolutely amazing and brought this project some unbelievably needed life. And I think it's fantastic that the technology has actually come out to make the movie that I think my brother wanted to make so long ago, and it's just developed drastically and so fast. And Derek is just incredible.
And
I'll stop talking now.
it's amazing because a lot of the creatives that are super creative, that have their hands in everything, that can do everything. We've had these imaginations and these plans to put out these different projects, but it just seemed like they were too broad and too expensive for Web3. I mean Web2. Now that Web3 is here, it's like you can do whatever you want, and I'm having a field day with it, man.
Oh yeah.
With the whole entire Starseed brand, everything I'm wanting to do, I'm able to do it. So it's like a dream come true to creatives.
Absolutely. I mean, it blows my mind what some people can do, and I look at it and I just go, where and how? Where does that come from? So yeah, Warwick is. I don't think he has a clue of how talented he is. He's got so much to give. It's incredible.
Definitely. And with some of the stuff we do, I would love to collab with you guys just on something, a Starseed and Sundog collaboration, even if it's a trailer for, our films or our virtual film festival. You guys are awesome. We have to work together, and that's just it. But yeah, looking at some of your work here.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea. Lyle, when you're not speaking, please switch your mic off. We get lots of feedback in the room. Thanks, but we'll get used to it. Yeah, I think a collaboration is great. I mean, look what's happened between myself and Derek. It's incredible. I just need to make a way that I can make it easier for Derek to do his work and not have to focus just on other commissioned work. I also need to get upgraded computers and stuff. I mean, I'm working on a nice machine, but it's running hot and it's about to die. And so yeah, there's always those things that get in the way. But we artists, so I'd rather use any paintbrush than just wait for my pure horsehair. So yeah, we make it happen.
I'm excited about that. I really am, man. Like, I'm all about cutting edge innovation, like She Crypto said. And if I can help it, I want to use my platform to expose everybody within this space that's doing great work. So yeah, man. I'm so glad you guys hooked up with us. And stopped by the virtual film festival.
No, it's
Your brother.
incredible. Thank you so much. Ultimately, my biggest thought block is how, never mind the art. The art is there, the story's there, the film's there, the acting's all wonderful, the imagery is all beautiful. We've got a whole album. I mean, we created the music. I was originally a musician, and Derek is a musician. And we created the album, not myself and Derek, myself and another artist. And so we could drop that as the soundtrack kind of thing, and and build it. But ultimately, I'm looking at how to do this in a gamified kind of way. And one of my heroes is the pack. People who use dynamic contracts and interactive contracts, and going back to the crypto kitties, like if we could turn all the different verses that they can then mate and join with other verses, so that you then build your whole film. So you can't buy the film, you need to collect the whole film. And only once you've collected the whole film that all merge with each other through these dynamic contracts, that film, once you got the whole film, you can never sell it. It becomes a soul contract, a soul token. I don't know if you've heard the term soul token. Vitalik, he brought that up a while back, where once the token is in your wallet, it can never come out. So I'm looking at all sorts of different angles and ways to make this an interesting dynamic project, you know.
I've never heard soul token. You are actually the first one that has ever brought that up to me. It's very intriguing.
Yeah, it was an interesting thread. Vitalik, you know, the guy who created Ethereum, he had a bit of a brain fart, I suppose. Excuse my words. He was a bit upset about the NFT world and how the tokenism is going, and it's all like funny, you know, finance driven and what. And he was like, you know, we should have soul tokens, a soul token, and that's where he came up with that idea. And I latched onto it. I thought that's absolutely fantastic. But you still need to have the different parts of the film or parts of your project that are, you know, tradable. We in a trade market. We can't think that it's got to go and stay at a person all the time. You know, the one of one market has this feeling that we got to buy a piece and keep it forever and ever. And they you know, we're two different markets from the original crypto NFTs, you know, with all the PFPs, and then the art coming in, we've got these different rules, but they're actually the same, you know. So I believe, yeah, trading of the stuff is fantastic, but try and work it in a way that once you've collected it, you'll always own it. I'd be curious to hear from you guys of other, I mean, I've been listening to lots and lots of the Film 3 space and how the guys are doing their drops and stuff. And most of it's like, you know, ticket gating to go and see the premiere and promise to see that and come and visit the director. And have you heard of any other really dynamic kind of ways that this has been done? Obviously, it's brand new and we've got the rights to do it any way we want. And I'm grabbing that with both horns, you know?
That's what I've been doing. I've been kind of vacillating and just immersing myself in the space there. And just to see how would it be advantageous. I think because it's so early on, things are needlessly convoluted. And so that's the thing for me. I feel like if it's a smart contract, then it should be something that should be relatively sophomore to kind of articulate and wrap your head around. And I feel like as of yet, it doesn't feel that way to me, especially if you're a filmmaker. And my situation is not like most, where everybody's kind of like raising money, or I actually have a film that's done. So I'm looking at it as probably one of one or some sort of distribution platform. But I do know what you're saying. I've been in a plethora of all of these spaces, and it's pretty much the same thing for the most part so far. I haven't heard anything that's like, that's it, that's the ticket. You know, I see people want to say something, so I'll go on mute.
Sorry, you go ahead and finish your thoughts. I just want to share my little insight about crowdfunding and how, like, you know, I myself have been helping filmmakers and different projects crowdfund before Web3. I'm like the old style way, and a lot of time, you know, people don't quite understand. So I look at Web2 crowdfunding, where you have the perks and how people would donate and what's the stories about. It's kind of like drip marketing slash almost guerrilla marketing, but it depends on how you create the story behind your crowdfunding and what the perks will be. So now take that analogy, what I just told you, and bring it to Web3. So a lot of time, you know, I've been sitting in NFT spaces with art, I mean, like collaborating on the web film version with Geno has taught me a lot. But sitting in the NFT spaces since February of last year, just listening to all the different things that they're doing, there's a couple of things that I noticed a lot of the projects do really well. One, they give back, you know, and I see you guys are doing some things like that. And the other thing is really creating that connection. And then you look at what's happening today with like concerts, you know, like I'm getting ready to buy Pink Floyd concert tickets for $70. For me, that's like an investment because I'm going to watch them and stream it and all that stuff. But I'm kind of curious about a lot of the filmmakers. You know, you're either tokenizing it, you're doing an NFT, you're raising funds, but people want to pay for an experience even before your film is made. Even your film is made. You know, like if they were to sign up, do they get any merch? Do they get anything they can price up? Do they have? And I think what it is when you talk about the perks, the things that they get for being part of your project, or really in Web3, the people are investing into your project. It's not about just, oh, I'm going to go get this, I get an NFT, and that's it. It's more like it's an investment. They're investing in you, what everything, your story, what you're going to do for them, and how you're going to help them. So help them see your vision, you know, because when we have a vision, we tell people, but if they can't experience it, they won't get excited about it. And you have so many minutes before you get that person excited, but you got to keep them excited. It's just like dating, you know, when you date somebody, you got to constantly give them excitement. But I feel like a lot of the film, they're doing great work. And I think using Beam is another one. But again, I still feel like every time you do a show, there should be some type of a swag, something. Maybe because I always talk about swag, and even having like a virtual dinner with the art, you know, the filmmakers and all that stuff, you know, like you can go build yourself like on, you know, go to have Starseed create a dinner for you guys. I mean, like, you know, like a virtual one where you can come in and people can meet you in a virtual world. Even if you Zoom is cool. I've seen a lot of people raise money doing Zoom during the shutdown. I see that as but people want immersive. They want to like be part of it. They want to get to know you. So I see what you know, Starseed Film Investment is doing is what they're doing is you know, I don't say much to Geno about it, but he can use that platform to actually bring people together in a Web3 atmosphere, decorate for you, and then you guys come in. That could be part of your collaboration, because the more people you collaborate, the more different platform you're part of, so that everyone's always going to use Google, right? They're always going to search your stuff, but they also want to feel special. They're going to search, they're going to find out what you're doing, but they also, if they're going to invest in you, they want to feel special on what they invest, because they are I call them your general. The people that invest you in your first round, those are your generals. They're going to go out and talk more about you and invest more. And so those people that invest in you in your first round of showing the perks of what investment into your project's going to be, it's not about that one film. I would do an investment in your whole production, like the whole team. Those are my thoughts. And then you got, you know, and then you set up your whole social media campaign, how you want people to see it and feel it. But I think there should be more Web3 interaction where people go in, they have the avatar. And you can do XR too. You can do it on they don't need they don't need VR. They can actually use it to their phone and all that. But I think it's really about the storytelling, each one, and then get to know the filmmaker. I mean, that's another like really cool.
Tonya has like, the most amazing idea. What was you saying, Sundog?
Go ahead.
I said Tonya has the most amazing ideas when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, and she's right. You know, we obviously need to build what we can give, and I've been thinking of opening a spatial space and turning it into a little cinema where holders come and watch. You know, because we've got to a point now where you'll notice we're only releasing things that have kind of been seen already, and I'm going to keep it that way. So everything else is more private, and you know, you can come to the spatial. I don't know if you've ever been to the spatial. They're galleries, VR galleries, and you can come and sit down and watch the different screenings, and we can all chat. So yeah, absolutely, definitely thinking of those kind of things, of what we can do, you know, going forward to bring some kind of utility to the gaming aspect of the film.
Well, we at Starseed, we just started our VR screenings for film. So, you know, we could definitely do something like that for you guys. We're supposed to be screening Flinch here soon, a VR screening of Flinch. So we're pretty excited about that. But yeah, VR theater, that's definitely something, you know, we're hopping into feet first. So I could definitely see you guys hooking up and doing something virtually as far as screening. You people would love to see that, in which your art and your movie on in the virtual space. You guys, like I said, you guys just have it, man. I think we had somebody that has a question. Agley.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is a lovely room. It's a good conversation. I'm really
Appreciate it.
excited to hear more about what you guys are doing. It's really innovative. It's really beautiful.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to tap into and talk about the ways in which people are funding their films and through NFTs and how what they're giving back. Because I'm working on a documentary. I'm a documentarist myself, and I'm very interested in the Web3 space. And as a documentarist, I think it's very important that I document and record the time and place that we're in today's world, because I believe there's a lot of unusual events and a lot of things that are happening that are changing the world, and they're tapping into this new shift in consciousness, or like paradigm shift, if you want to call it, or even a renaissance that sometimes I believe it is. So I think it's really important that I kind of understand that. So as a documentarist, I've been writing a documentary about the change that is happening around the world, the technological, political, economic, social shift, and how they all link together through the different revolutions even happening on the street, the political revolutions, and the mistrust in the governance that we have, and how we came to have a blockchain and Bitcoin. So, and I went around trying to fund it through a blockchain and through Bitcoin for the longest time, to make it a point that this economy works, because I'm speaking about all that, and then it eventually became turned into an NFT project. And the way I'm trying to give back is to give back to the whole idea itself, since blockchain is this immortal kind of thing. If this DAO that happens after this film is created. So the film is called You Are Not Alone, and apart from the film, we're creating this collective of artists and activists coming together from around the world to utilize blockchain and smart contracts to turn them into grants to help us express and create more in relation to this technology that we exist in. So the film will be a series of films, or a series of visual arts, or a series of different expressions, whether in actual exhibitions, or in actual street art, or in actual however it could be, that expression, right? But through that money that's coming through this NFT that everybody paid for. So we create this pool of money and everybody has access to it. And part of that money goes to the film for You Are Not Alone to be created, for me to make that film, and then to fund actually 20 other projects that can speak the same kind of language, to speak that idea and try to document what's going on in today's world. Because I believe in 20 years, when we're completely taken into that new world, we need something that makes sense of how did we get to where we are, and we need to document what's going on in today's world. So we're trying to fund as much work as we can that falls under that same idea, which eventually creates a decentralized media channel, and which I really I'm excited for, because I think we've lost the narrative as people, because traditional media is not giving proper light to what's going on in this technology, because it's controlled by the people in power and that 1%. So my film is talking about all that in between, and how the power is being redistributed to the people, and we're trying to reclaim our story through creating this decentralized media network. We are called the Yanaverse. I invite you to follow us and join our spaces every Thursday and come for the conversation. You guys are speaking really cool stuff. So yeah, and I'm happy to be here. So I just wanted to share how we're doing it. But
I like what you said. I like what you said a lot. Could you pin like a link to where your spaces are?
Yeah, of course. I can share with you guys a little like teaser that we've done for that kind of yeah, I just shared a little teaser of that taster film that we've done for people to hear about us and know what we're doing. It's a little 1 minute 30 seconds. When you guys have the time, you can watch it. Follow us, and we share our spaces right there on Twitter every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So, and this is something that's very constant. It's happening every Thursday, and you can join our Discord and all. And I would love to hear more about how you guys are using AI to generate these new images and create this new interactive work with the computer to make these films, because this is really, really interesting.
Yes, it is. It's mind blowing. I like every time I look at his work, it's like I see something different. I get something different every time. So yeah, just go ahead and post that to the top. And we'll check you out. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, I did just post it up there, but I would love to hear more of how, because I came in late to the conversation. Maybe I didn't hear exactly how you're working with the computer to create that, but I would love to hear a little more, like a little pitch of how what kind of software you're using. Are you writing a script and you're telling the computer where to go with it, or how you're working around with that?
Yeah, that's a Derek answer.
It's called Disco Diffusion. It's more of a sort of like an open source AI. I don't know why it's so amazing. So I think it's only a question of time before it becomes really mainstream and like ordinary software with more buttons. But at the moment, it's that Google Colab kind of story where you got to completely running code and the code that never works, and you got to keep. It's like you spend more time coding code than actually doing art, which is kind of annoying because I've been an artist for my entire life, not really a coder. But yeah, so yeah, this thing of it's basically so feeding in a normal video, and then you're telling this AI what to do with this video. It's kind of, it's hard to explain. So at the moment, I'm trying to make a waterfall and a river, a video of a waterfall and a river, but to look like something sort of unnatural, but still a waterfall and a river. But it's kind of difficult because it changes it to something else all the time. To try and get something similar to what it was originally is actually pretty difficult. But yeah, kind of don't know what else to really say about it. Maybe ask me something. I don't know.
Sorry, Starsweet, I wonder if I can get you to close your mic. Yeah, thanks, bro. If everybody can remember to close their mics, I'm very far away and it just got breaking up all the time. Blessings.
It's really interesting how in today's world, like the coders are becoming the artists, or where do we draw the line? Who's the artist? Is the actual code, the computer is the artist, or the coder, or the concept is the art? Like, because everything is becoming so saturated, but that's really interesting. And the fact that it's open source is really valuable and really interesting too, because that's what we need. We need all that information to be accessible for everyone. So it redistributes that idea of power. So we all have access. We all have equal. We can all equally contribute. So, and I would love to know the name of that software. I want to check it out myself.
It's called Disco Diffusion. I mean, if you can find me on Twitter or send me a message or something, I can just send you. I can give you the software. You can just do it yourself.
For sure, I just followed you.
But yeah, another thing I must say is the artists. I've been doing art my entire life, and yeah, the coders are not really good artists. That's just the thing. So it's really annoying. And I don't mean to be nasty to anybody, but an artist is a certain kind of person who's been through, a certain kind of lifestyle that's usually quite harsh in the beginning. And that's, I don't know. I've known a lot of artists and actors and musicians, and the really good ones are not the ones who live the perfect lives. You get success later, but you got to go through a lot of stuff to understand. Maybe you or your palette that you use to paint with, and if you only know happiness and like how cool you are, then your emotions are kind of not very varied. Where someone who's like survived some intense stuff, then you have got more to say in your art. So yeah, I mean, like I was saying earlier, like
that's true.
The coders, I'm like that too. And you end up doing a video of your girlfriend, or you just end up doing boring stuff because you're not really thinking creatively. It's difficult for me to merge this code reality with the art reality. It's not that easy, but I'm trying my best. I'm not really. I'm an artist. I don't really remember even like the day, or you know what I mean. So like coding is not my thing at all. The logical brain isn't my thing. It's like I use the other side of my brain, like a pattern picture format for everything. So yeah, it's not easy.
No, I completely understand it's not easy, and coding is definitely not the art for sure, but it's just interesting how today's world changes things. And I do believe, and I agree with you that like art comes from a deep place of like sorrow and suffering maybe, because it's like the reality of life. In my opinion, is actually suffering, and it comes from a really deep place of realness. I started working on this film after I was actually I'm from Beirut, from Lebanon, and we had a big revolution going on 3 years back to put down the people in charge and the people in power in our country, because they're doing really a lot of you know missing, they're missing everything for the people. So, and we had a big fight for a while, and eventually it ended up with COVID and people being locked down and unable to keep that fight going on the street. So they plugged into the computers and the internet, and at the same time we had a huge inflation, so the banks took our money. So everybody learned that they needed a new system to trust, so they put their money in Bitcoin, for example, or like blockchain. So we really, like, all that was happening back there, and we were actually I was figuring out, like, this is all connected, like everything's is happening at the same time. Like the revolution in Lebanon is not just happening there, it's happening everywhere around the world. There's a fight, and there's people claiming back their power, and in every different matter, from racism to feminism to human rights to environment issues to everything. So, and even in a third world country that's so small, we were fighting such topics in subjects when we had way bigger basic needs that we needed, that we didn't even had access to. But it's interesting to look at art, how it could be an expression of a really deep place of existing, and trying to say something from in a way that other ways couldn't be told. So you kind of make it make sense in a visual format. For me, that's why I like to do film, and that's why I'm in film. I'm actually trying to experiment with virtual reality films too, because that'll be my first actual film in VR, if I do it in VR, because the whole film is You Are Not Alone is a docufiction. It's a documentary paralleled with a fictional story that tells the tale about 5 different people, each from a different country around the world, where there's a fight happening on the street, and then COVID happens, and they are unable to keep that fight going, so they plug to the internet, and they meet each other on the cloud in spaces like this, in spaces like we are right now, and they share a great connection that they actually um, uh, 3D scan one of the guys' houses and plug into it in virtual reality, and now they question how connected are we in today's world, and that's what takes us into the factual documentary aspect of the film. So I'm trying to make that whole experience in VR for the viewer to be in VR, actually experiencing the film, sitting with these 5 people, and kind of having the conversation with them. So, which is also kind of exciting, but yet really risky and scary to experiment with. But it's such a beautiful time for me, I think, to be alive. I think this is a great time. So, and especially when you're using such open source softwares to create like stuff like that, so it's really interesting, it's really cool, and it's really nice to see like-minded people are doing other things, other innovative things on there. Because just like you said, I've seen a lot of films, I've seen a lot of people doing stuff, but everybody is going through it the same Web 2 kind of way, which is a traditional way of like buy the NFT and we'll give you a ticket to premiere the film or to see the film, when everything should be open source. Like, for example, like You Are Not Alone, this film will be online for free for everyone, even if you don't own our NFTs, because the whole idea is everybody sees everything and has access to everything. So I don't like the idea of like buy our NFT and you'll have a premiere, you'll get invited to premiere to the movie, or a ticket to the movie, because the movie should actually be free, and the money should be kind of worked around in a different fashion, because this new world works in a completely different way, and it's about the open sourceness of things. So the more we give back and in actual material, the better. So we can have everything open source. So even the footage of the films, maybe we can have them on our platforms for people to download and use to re-establish or re-edit in a different way or something. I don't know. But yeah, thank you. I should stop speaking now.
Appreciate all that, though. Very interesting insight. Sundog, I can't believe it's been an hour already, man. This time went by so fast. I am excited to be collabing with you guys here in the future. I'm thankful you guys came by the virtual film festival. Like I said, the potential that you guys have is limitless. I see you guys doing big things here in the future. You have will always have a supporter in Starseed Film and Music. And what I like to do at this time, every Wednesday, is give away the golden movie ticket to our guest. So, Sundog, we're going to give you the golden movie ticket. You are now in the Starseed Film and Music Hall of Fame. We appreciate you for stopping by. And yeah, like I said, I'm just excited to be working with you guys. And if there's anything you need, if you want to come back and debut something else or just speak, let us know. You have a platform to do it. Shout out to my co-host, She Crypto, Tonya. Thank you guys for holding me down this episode. We had a couple of issues, but you know how it goes. And
Thank you so much, bro. That's an honor to get that tab. I'm gonna.
No problem. No problem. We're gonna get that to you
And
here
then
in a few minutes.
Before we close up here, I would like to, I was going to give away to somebody in the room,
yeah, that's
but
right.
we don't have such a large room. So if every single one of you would like one of our early posters, early supporters, you've supported us by being in this room, just hit me a DM with your details. It's a Polygon, so it'll have to be an ETH address, and I will send you one each.
Wow. How about that? The first guest to ever do it. Sundog.
No way, is that true?
yeah, man.
First. I'm Capricorn,
man.
I like first.
Awesome.
All right, guys. So next week, same time, same place. Virtual Film Festival, Starseed Film and Music. We out of here.
Hey, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thanks for coming, everybody. Nice seeing you, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Bye.
Shout out to our sponsors, Social Chat. It will be back with us next week as well.